Hey Mavericks fans, it was a busy NBA trade deadline for the Mavericks and for the entire NBA. I've had fun here today. A couple of videos. We got one more to come with the Dorian Finney-Smith contract news. Stay tuned for that. In general, though, if you want more videos, we need more subscribers. A lot of momentum on this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button if you want to keep it going, and I will continue to talk about the Dallas Mavericks every day if we get to a point where we get enough subscribers. So hit that big red button, and let's go ahead and break down this Finney-Smith contract plus some other news and rumors. Welcome into Dallas Mavericks Today. I am your host, Harrison Graham. I hope you guys have enjoyed trade deadline day. We had to bid farewell to Kristaps Porzingis, cue the bagpipes, but we'll talk a little bit more about that one a little bit later on because the news we want to focus on here first is around Dorian Finney-Smith getting a contract extension. Mark Stein had this first. The Mavs and Dorian Finney-Smith. Actually, Tim McMahon had it first, but Stein had the note of the contract details. 4 years, $52 million extension, according to league sources. McMahon said it could be up to $55 million, 52, 55, not that big of a deal. 13 per year for Dorian Finney-Smith. This is a no-brainer. I mean, as soon as Porzingis got traded, the first thing I was thinking of, okay, what does this mean for Jalen Brunson and Finney-Smith moving forward? And the tea leaves were telling us, the rumors, the reports out there the last few weeks is that Dallas did not want to lose Finney-Smith and Jalen Brunson, even if that meant trading Kristaps Porzingis. So you don't let him hit free agency and you lock him up. I mean, that's, this is Doc Rivers get DeAndre Jordan inside a house and, throw away the key, if you will. That is what they're doing here with Dorian Finney-Smith. He is now locked up for the next 4 seasons. And, I mean, the growth we've seen from this guy as an undrafted free agent, always had defensive potential, has become one of the premier defenders in this league, and now the last couple of years has really added to his offensive game as that side has certainly improved as a three-point shooter specifically. He's a core player for this team now. I mean, this is a guy you did not want to lose, so I like Dallas taking care of this now. Don't mess around because obviously Jalen Brunson is the next domino in this, but good for Dorian Finney-Smith to get the bag, much deserved. This is a classic lunch pail, get to work type of mentality that he's had, and it is now paying off with life-changing money for him and his. 4 years, $50+ million for Dorian Finney-Smith. So now the focus shifts, okay, what about Jalen Brunson? What happens there? Now, Mark Stein had this note about Brunson and a possible contract extension. He tweeted this out earlier saying Brunson is eligible as well, but the max for allowable extension through June 30th is 4 for $55, and Brunson is expected to command at least $18 million annually this summer after becoming a free agent. So basically the way it works is starting July 1st, Brunson can make more money than if the Mavs wanted to extend him now, and he recognizes his market. Why would he settle for $13-14 million per year if he could end up getting $18 to $20 million per year, which is what he'll likely make as a free agent. Now, that does not mean that that Jalen Brunson will not be a Maverick. What it means is that we're just going to have to wait for free agency to get here, and you're going to have to pay him more than what you gave Dorian Finney-Smith because he's worth more. He's going to get a lot of money on the open market. I think the Mavs may have to pay him $20 million a year, but you know what? I think he's worth it. He is a cornerstone piece for this team moving forward. I think in a couple of years we might look up and be like, this is a 20-point, 6-assist guy. I mean, he's been on that kind of trajectory since he entered the league. He's just gotten better each and every year, like Finney-Smith, but even at a more rapid pace and at a higher volume pace as well, especially offensively. So Dorian Finney-Smith goes from an undrafted free agent to a $52 million contract. Jalen Brunson, he's still here, no trade. We'll have to wait until free agency to see if he does get a new contract with Dallas. I firmly believe that will be the case. He will be the focus this offseason for Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd, Mark Cuban, and company. Now for Finney-Smith, grade the contract extension A, B, C, D, or F. It's a solid B+. It's a good deal. Look, this is what you pay elite 3 and D players. I mean, a guy that can knock down open threes and defend all 5 positions, that's going to cost you $10 to $15 million a year. You get him at 13. I mean, this is how it is. He's a guy that's still in his, 27 coop, 28, somewhere in that range. I mean, he's going to be a good player for a long time. I'll give it a B+. It's a good deal, and I'm glad to see him stay in Dallas. Now, BetUS is the place to go if you want to go bet on some Mavericks games or bet on who's going to win the NBA championship, etc. Go to chatsports.com/MFFL. Use promo code MFFL to get a 125% deposit bonus. And I almost forgot, Super Bowl Sunday is almost upon us, and we've got some odds for you guys. The Rams are 4-point favorites. The over-under between these two teams set at 48.5 points. I love the over, and I think I've decided I'm putting my money on the Rams. I just think it's too good of a matchup for L.A. Producer Coop disagrees, but I'm going to roll with Matthew Stafford and the Rams -4. I'll take the points. Give me L.A. To win this one. If you want to go bet on it, chatsports.com/MFFL. Promo code is MFFL. All right, let's react a little bit more to the Kristaps Porzingis trade because, look, these things are never easy, right? Like, Producer Coop's kind of in shambles. I'm not going to lie about this one. Talk to Pops, and it's a tough one. That's just how this goes. But you ship out KP to Washington. Spencer Dinwiddie, Davis Bertans. By the way, if you want more initial reaction to this trade, we have a video. Subscribe. Go check it out. It's been out for a couple of hours. Look, it's not easy to say goodbye to Porzingis, but I'm optimistic about the pieces you're getting in, especially Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, he has not played great this year coming off an injury of his own, but the more games he plays, the more reps he gets, now he gets in a more offensive-friendly system. I do wonder if he can get closer to what he was in Brooklyn prior to the injury last season, and if that's the case, you might have an 18, 20-point score on your hands. What I think you have in the short term is a guy to lead your second unit. And that is what you needed, and that's what we talked about with Goran Dragic. More on him in a minute. But I think in the short term, that will be his role. He'll be a six-man type, lead the second unit. Hopefully Tim Hardaway Jr. gets back this year. If not, maybe your backcourt coming off the bench next year is Dinwiddie and THJ. We'll see how that all plays out, but I like his scoring ability. He can dish. He can get other guys involved. He's kind of like a bigger Monte Ellis, honestly. Their games are pretty similar. Monte probably had a more reliable mid-range game, but other than that, pretty similar. Now, it is fair to say he's not having a very good year in Washington. The efficiency is poor, but maybe some of that is the Wizards stink, and he's still working his way back from injury, and this is just how these things go, right? Like, I'm optimistic that coming to a winning environment, that should help elevate his game. Now, what this trade does with Dinwiddie and Bertans, two rotation players, you get Tim back, which we'll see. I think it's 50-50 at best this year. But even look at the crystal ball the next year. The depth is real. I mean, you got 8-10 guys that can go in a playoff game with Luka, Brunson, Finney-Smith, Powell, Kleba, THJ, Dinwiddie, Bertans, Bullock, who I didn't even mention, who's been playing his best basketball as a Maverick. I mean, that's 9 guys without even blinking right there. So, maybe you get some contributions from a couple of other guys. You've got more depth. Now, maybe you have less firepower without Porzingis, but at the end of the day, guys, he couldn't stay healthy. You got to be available to be considered a star, and he just wasn't healthy nearly often enough. Will the Mavs win a playoff series this year? Because they've made the playoffs the last couple of years. They've been competitive in both cases. 6 games 2 years ago, 7 games last year. They let that series a year ago get away, obviously. Had a chance to take a 3-0 series lead. We know what happened in Game 3. And then the series, went back and forth the rest of the way. That would be a huge step for this team to win a playoff series this year. Let's shift to Goran Dragic. Does the Dinwiddie addition impact the Mavs pursuing Goran Dragic? Because earlier in the day, kind of one of the trades to get trade deadline day started was Dragic to San Antonio for Thad Young, Eubanks, and a second. I believe Eubanks has been bought out already, by the way. Just a side note there. Reports sound like Dragic will likely get bought out as well, but with the Dinwiddie addition, does Dragic still make sense? Now, I do think he gets bought out, but I do think he's going to be more open to other opportunities. Miami, a place he's been very familiar with for several years. The Milwaukee Bucks, I think, are a potential fit, especially after they traded Dante DiVincenzo to help get Serge Ibaka. You bring in Dragic to help replace DiVincenzo in the backcourt. That could make some sense. So I'm not saying I wouldn't pursue it if I was Dallas, but you look at this roster, you don't have a free spot. You already cut Moses Brown, so you're probably, you're cutting Trey Burke to bring in Dragic? Sure, I'd rather have Dragic than Burke, there's no doubt, but Luka, Brunson, and Dinwiddie, I don't think you make that KP trade with Dinwiddie involved and then you sign Dragic and play him more than Dinwiddie. I just don't think that makes sense. So I think he's your fourth kind of ball handler if that's the case, which, hey, I'm fine with. He's better than Trey Burke. But I do wonder, especially from Dragic's side of things, if he's like, I might look for other opportunities and maybe a team like Milwaukee or Miami that might be a step ahead of Dallas right now in terms of chasing a championship. So pick one. Who would you rather have? Type TB for Trey Burke. Type GD for Goran Dragic. Get your votes in. I would obviously rather have Dragic, but I'm not as confident he's going to come now. Let us know what you guys think. And also, appreciate you guys for locking in all week, the last couple of weeks, and of course today as well. Trade deadline coverage has been fantastic. Your support has been awesome. Subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to keep this momentum and grow this thing here at Dallas Mavericks Today.